pants, but as you can see, I sewed them shut because the idea of someone or something hooking onto them and tearing them open is terrifying.
Hi, how are you? So today I will be attempting to recreate the reverse seam contrast stitch serger shirt. I've seen a couple brands use this technique, method, style sewing on a decent amount of garments, including brands like Asai, Matacomplex, Rua Carlota, and I think I've even seen some on OM Weekend. I don't know if I pronounced any of those names correctly. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Before we get into the actual DIY, there is some preliminary work that we need to go over. So let's get into it. Based on the type of machine you have, there are two ways you can go about this. The first one is with a serger. We're just gonna fold it how we want it, and we're gonna serge along that edge. That's how she looks. Second way is with a zigzag stitch. This is how she looks. I'll link down below a video by Annika which explains something similar in case you need further information. So if you are planning to use a serger and have never done so, like I hadn't before the start of this project, there is a small issue of threading the machine. So I am using these cones, so therefore I have put these adjusters on there. We're just gonna pop these bad boys in place. I'm mixing colors because I like the effect. So my serger has a 4-thread capacity, but I will only be using 3. Therefore, I will only be threading the upper looper, the lower looper, and the left needle. There she is. You might want to at this point take a deep breath and mentally prepare yourself for this. Here we go. According to the guy whose tutorial I watched, you are meant to thread them in a specific order. So he started by threading the upper looper, then the lower looper, then the left needle, then the right needle. We're not using the right needle, so we're just going to be threading these 3. So the first 4 steps are the same, but the first step for all of them is to put it through the thread tree. I'm just gonna do that. Just gonna do that. So now we're gonna thread the upper looper first. So there's this place over here, and we're just gonna slide her in. That is number 2. For number 3, you're meant to hold this lever down and pull it straight down through to number 4. So she's nicely in there. So as you can see, the green one is for the upper looper. We slide her through there. We put her through here. This holder, just the first one. You can see it has a green dot on top. Number 7. And then last but not least, we are going to thread our thread through this. See this little thing? This guy. That is the upper looper. To make it easier, I'm just gonna cut the thread so it has a cleaner edge. We're gonna slide her through. I just moved her up a bit using the hand wheel on the side here, so it's easier to pick up that thread. And then once that's done, we're gonna slide her behind the foot. Now for the lower looper. Still again, we thread it through the thread tree. We put her through here, pull the lever and pull the thread all the way through. We're following the blue line now. We put her through number 5, This one goes through both of these metal pieces. It goes through here, and then you see this little arrow over here? We pull that down. We put the thread inside there, and once the thread is hooked in, we push her back. And we can now thread her through the lower looper, which is right over here. And we put her behind the foot. And back up we go. Of course, we already have her through the tree, so we're gonna put her through here. Pull the lever and pull her all the way down. We're gonna follow this arrow through 4 and 5. And then when we come down here, you see this guide over here? We're gonna put it behind the guide, and we're gonna put it through the left needle. Goodness. If I could just... Ooh, there she goes. My, oh my. And we put her behind the foot. And that is that. If you had the fourth one in, it'd be the same thing through here, and then you'd follow it through up and down, and then you just thread it into the right needle. I'll put a link to the video I used to help myself understand this situation, and I would also recommend that you read the handy dandy manual, and if it's still not sinking in, I would say just sleep on it and allow the information to really seep in through your pillow and into your brain by a process of osmosis. So I've spent the last 2 days playing around with the settings, watching tutorials on how to thread, and also watching tutorials on how to create different types of stitches. Here are some of my samples. Based on a suggestion from a tutorial I watched, I wrote down all the settings I used to achieve the stitch on each fabric sample. I played around with the tension settings.
This is for the upper looper, this is a lower looper, this is a left needle, and this is the right needle. They move up and down, all around.
On the side here, I played around with the stitch width, the stitch length, and the differential feed ratio. This is for the knife. It's currently disengaged right now. So for the needle, you could decide to only use the left side, the right side, or you could put in both needles. So the left needle is slightly lower than the right. You have to make sure that the flat side, you see her, the flat side, is facing the back. So another thing you could do that could affect the stitch is to remove the stitch finger. See this beautiful arrow over here? Press down this lever, you can remove this, and removing it would help you with narrow stitches. The machine also comes with a handy dandy storage unit for it. Then you could just close it right back up. To put it back in, you just press the lever down and insert her there. After all my experimentation, I decided on this stitch over here. Isn't she a beaut? Waviness. How wavy your final piece is gonna be will depend on the fabric, how much you pull while sewing. If you decide to pull, don't pull too much because that can cause the machine to skip stitches. If you want it to be really wavy, use a fabric that has stretch in it, and then after serging the fabric in small sections, tug on your fabric, and that should make it wavy. So with all that covered, now we can finally get to sewing. So I'm gonna be using this white shirt. I'm gonna draw guidelines for myself.
And now we serge. So I'm gonna start by doing the collar, the bottom of the shirt, and the sleeve edge. Next, I am going to serge here and here. I am going to fold along each of these markings that I made and serge there. Should be a lot of fun.
I also made a button-up shirt, hat, and bag because, in the words of Tabitha Brown, that's my business. I do hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other social media platforms and all that good jazz that helps support creators on this platform.
Bye, have a great time.